Underground.
Go for it.
Welcome to Out of Battery Not So Live. Today with us, we have a very special guest who you might recognize from some of his work on The Raven. With us today is Freitech. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
So,
how you guys doing?
How are you doing today? What's going on in your life?
Just trying to relax, enjoy life. You know,
Living
a lot of
life.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. Yeah, you know, I don't like to get too overexcited because you know then you got to figure there's a counterbalance. You know what I mean? If everything's good, some bad stuff has to happen.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, but yeah, no, everything's good. Yeah.
So let's sort of walk through history for a second. How did you get into guns and 3D printing and 3D printing guns?
Okay, so first thing that happened was in about the beginning when all the chaos started happening around the the lockdowns and all that. 2 years. Just when we were in a bank down up the block, I needed some protection for the family and you know, here at the home. And so the first thing I did was I got a black powder, which was cool because I ended up taking some avocado wood that I actually took from a log and cut down into usable lumber. I took pieces of that and remade the grips because it had cheesy plastic ones. But so that was my first tinkering, you know. So right off the gate, I'm already tinkering. Then I got a real, you know, a regular. I got a little 38 sub nose, and that was, you know, legit. You know, did the whole paperwork thing. And then I think the guy at my shop had showed me he ended up getting an 80% Glock. And so that was when I saw that. And then instead of getting the Glock, though, I went ahead. I found that you could also do the ARs. So I got an AR-15 lower, did that, put that together, was pretty stoked on that. Had really good, you know, took that out, no problems. I was starting to find then that I really was liking fucking around with the guns. And then I remember I had seen stuff about 3D printers about 10 years maybe prior. And I remember thinking to myself that it was going to be something that I wanted to keep my eye on. You know, it was definitely not affordable for me then. And I figured let the technology kind of move forward. And so then I had started seeing stuff on, AWCY posting stuff. And so then I started seeing, oh, wow, you know what, you know, they're really able to do stuff, 3D printing, you know, gun CAD. And it was cool because like even still there's, you know, a few people I know and they're still like, I think they don't believe their own eyes when they see the videos of these things being shot, but they're like plastic guns, you know?
Right.
But so I got my my first ender. You know, at first I was thinking about getting a printer, and it was like I was thinking like I'd had to spend like, you know, like a Dremel or something like in the thousands. Once I figured I could get an ender, and then I got the ender, and you know, putting it together, that was key because that was so much fun for me, just putting anything together. You know, I had no problem buying the refurbished ones that are the ones that basically people got frustrated and just sent back. So then, you know, I started collecting some printers, just started printing a bunch of stuff. First thing I actually tried to do was DB Arms Mac, and I printed it before I even could ordered anything. And then I go and I couldn't even find any, there was nothing available to buy at the time. Everyone had bought up all the uppers. So then I just started going, okay, cool. And I started looking at all the different stuff I could do. And then I started printing a lot of different guns. And then once I figured out that paint sticks really well to the PLA, this was before I even knew anything about Cerakote. But I'm a big painter, which I probably painted longer than I had tattooed. So yeah, so I started, doing a lot of tricking them out. I was like, okay, I'm going to make them look like lowrider style. The first one I started getting any attention for was the ARC. Some people I had been talking to, like a lot with Alan from Riptide Rails, and I was asking questions about stuff, and he was really cool. And he actually, when I first started learning to CAD, he kind of pushed me, like anytime if I had any doubt or whatever, it was like he was always kind of there, like, dude, you could do this, and kind of kept pushing me, which is cool, because I will like always remember that dude is kind of a key thing in like how I really got into, because once I started designing stuff, I mean, fuck, that was like, you know what I mean? Like, especially as like a guy that does a lot of two-dimensional art, painting and tattooing on people, and like to be able to design like a 3D anything, and then bam, like magic, it's there. And then to do it with a firearm, like, yeah.
Question for you on that. As Justin said to me once, that nowadays, one of the best ways to be an artist and get paid is to do tattoos. And so in your mind, how has tattooing and being a visual artist influenced your building work and your design work?
How has it influenced it?
Aside from financially.
Yeah, right. I know, because I mean, that's been a big part. But well, I guess, okay, so it's about decorating something, like with tattooing, I'm decorating people. People are personable with art. It's different to sit down and paint a canvas. It's you put something on the canvas, even if it's a commission, it's a certain topic, and that's it. And then but when you're like with a tattoo, it's there's a connection with another person. Well, I mean, kind of with the gun thing too, because ultimately, as I'm starting out to be able to do stuff for other people, so whether it's painting or designing, and seeing like the Raven, now seeing other people like printing my stuff, so I don't know if I'm kind of getting off track here or not on the answer to your question, but it's so I get to see, it's like, God, almost like if it's allowed me to go, I'm in like it's a different dimension, I guess, artistically. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't even know if I've made sense with that.
Is the biggest difference that the tattooing the canvas, gives you immediate feedback, and this is something you're doing more for yourself, there's less of this dialogue? Is that the kind of thing you're
okay? Yeah, because so, like, everything I do when I tattoo somebody, I'm designing for them what they want,
right.
Like, ultimately I draw something out, they're gonna say, oh no, change this, do that, whatever, and that's a skill in itself, to get what people want and to have for the rest of their life. But yeah, with the gun thing, yeah, this is like I can design, like I'm like when I sit and design, it's me and my computer, and yeah, and I'm kind of more thinking about, I mean, I'm thinking about other people, yes, because obviously other people have to like it and think it looks cool. So yeah, it's weird. It's kind of a trip because there's that whole like, okay, I think it looks cool, but is everyone going to think it looks stupid? Yeah. So like with the tattoo, I get immediately, you know, if it's a piece of shit tattoo or not. I mean, you know, like if everyone's standing around going, oh my God, you know, or the customer's like, oh, you know, like, yeah. So yeah, yeah, I get a total different sense of gratification from it.
Okay. So,
and I feel it's like magic. It really is, like, it's totally like magic.
Just the process of CAD and watching something exist suddenly.
Yes.
Did you get into CAD almost immediately after getting your printer?
Yeah, pretty soon after. God, yeah, it'd have to be probably around like 2 months after I got it.
Okay.
And what it was is I started, the very first thing I tried to CAD was it the Tomcat? One of the little clip barrel Berettas.
The Beretta mouse guns?
Yeah, one of those. And then some other dude, the guy, Katz, he did one of them. Okay, so, but then I was in some beta chat room or something, and he was talking about that and that he was working on this other one. And I'd gotten pretty close, but I knew I still had some work printing and testing to do. I was like, okay, well, this dude who's already done this, and it had certain, the recoil thing on it was the same. I'm like, oh, and that was like one of the harder things on it. And I was like, okay, he's already got this. So it's like, oh, let's pick something else. And it was cool. I kind of got a feel for, you know, well, I mean, I would take a photograph of the guy in the profile, and I would design it off of that.
Okay. So
the only reason I knew the measurements, because I had the slide, so I knew the thickness. So I had a lot of trial and error. I mean, I have boxes of fucking prints. But so then I moved to the Raven after I realized that guy was probably going to beat me to the punch on that. And I was like, cool. And I said, well, here, and I'd seen so many of the Raven kits always, because I was on everygunparts.com like all the fucking time. They love me.
Right.
But yeah, so I was like, man, that'd be a good one to do, you know, like I didn't even care thinking about caliber. It was like, no, it looks like a fun little gun. There's a lot of kits, you know, that was the one that always pissed me off, is like, there's never kits for anything. So, okay, let's try this one. And then I got to where it is when I put the first file on the beta. And that was actually a while back when I finished that, because then I started on Bruharia, and then, once I started on Bruharia, that started really taking a lot of my time. It wasn't until just recently I was able to put a little more time back into it and then do the beta and stuff. But so the Raven was really the first full thing I followed through with on CAD. And again, that one was, I had a slide from the kit, and then I got a photograph of it, pulled it up, everything, and just, yeah, like, I mean, I figured that's how everyone did it. I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know. Do people do it that way, or did they actually get a physical gun and then do it from that?
I think there's a pretty even split on people reverse engineering using the parts kits and people who do buy a copy and then actually, you know, measure various things on the frame itself. So how do you do your betas? Are you running the beta basically entirely on your own?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I guess, I don't know. You know, Dogenado, excuse me. God, I always do that. Dogenado set the room up for me. Because I don't know much of that. Like, you know, that's not a skill set I possess. So yeah, he was cool. He set the room up. We got it going, and then I had a lot of people come in there, and I was kind of, you know, talking to people, moving people to where they needed to go to, if they needed to order a kit, guiding them through that. And And I had a lot of on the Instagram people that were trying to get into the room. It was funny because like I would give people the URL or whatever the fuck it's called, and they're like, "Oh, I can't get in," you know. And I literally had on a bunch of people. I would have to go in and invite them. Yeah, it was crazy, but I did there. Yeah, I had to really put a lot of work into running the room. I mean, it wasn't like it was the room was like going crazy all the time, but yeah, it was cool. And I think I've got up to like 40 people in the beta room. I think we've sold like, God, almost 30 of the kits so far.
Okay.
So,
and it's how many people have gotten to the point where they are like actively testing and contributing to, at the very least, printing, if not shooting?
I think, God, there's got to be maybe like, I'd say like 8 people probably at least are printed and done building or finishing. Couple guys have already test fired. It was cool because one guy did a test. I don't know what gave him the idea to do it, but he did a test with not epoxying the barrel in, and it broke, you know, it smacked and broke, you know, and he's like, I thought it would broke the thing. And I was like, cool, you know, okay. So we found that out, but yeah, obviously we need that thing epoxied in there, but
yeah,
it was kind of, but yeah, so it's cool. We got people doing stuff. And then like some people want to make grips and stuff like that. And I'm being pretty mellow on it. You know, I mean, everyone in there is pretty respectful anyway. So it's like, you know, like nobody's like, I don't think anybody like fear like someone's gonna take my Raven design, and you know, if anything, if they did, it's just gonna sell kits because I got a bunch of the kits to sell. So yeah, so like I'm not all like, oh, like the files, like, you know, like
trying to keep it super locked down or something.
Yeah, like I think one guy just made some wraparound single, they're grips, but they're instead of 2 grips, it's a single, like has it wraps around. It's basically like what the Lorsen is, a Raven, but a 7-shot instead of 6-shot. So it's just got a longer thing. And I just released that on the beta too. And then I'm kind of going to do, I'm thinking I want to do where you could have a Raven. Because, okay, so the Raven also has the extractor up top and the Lorsen is to the right. But so basically they're the same thing. Just a little, you know, different on the slide for the ejection spot. But so essentially if you wanted your Lorsen to be a 6-shot with the Raven mag, you could do that, or and vice versa. But so, and then there is another one, the Sundance, which is the same thing, but a cutaway on the slide. There's not as many kits, but so I have a third one that I'm going to put into the beta too. I'm just kind of doing it
slowly rolling them out.
Yeah, I did all the frames back when I did it, everything.
Okay. The Lorsen isn't a very fun gun to shoot.
It's not. You know, it's funny is I've been looking it up. There's like all kinds of shit about what a bad rap it has, what a shitty gun.
I bought one from my ex-wife after she was my ex-wife. She's like, I've got this gun. It doesn't work. And so I looked at it. She wanted $100. I looked at it. I said, okay. And then when she left, I shot it out the window. She wasn't strong enough to pull the trigger back, and she thought it didn't work.
Oh my God. Wow. I could see though how that, yeah, because okay. Yeah, you know, it's funny because a bunch of people, they said, well, you've just improved that thing with, you know, like, because I did that frame thing just for look. I didn't even think about oh, you probably added some strength in that thing. But yeah, so a bunch of people are like convinced that that the PLA is stronger than the pot metal. And on some of the videos where guys are talking about them, they were saying how it was some of the cheapest, crappiest pot metal of any guns ever made. But mostly on the Lorsen as opposed to the Raven. I guess the Raven didn't have quite as bad of a rap. But
every time I've been on EGP, it's like, you know, you're looking for some specific thing, and there are just tons of Ravens and Lorsens. Is that
not
why
anymore.
You chose them originally?
Yeah.
Was like-
Cause I was thinking because originally I thought I would put it out on a thing and then here's something that everyone can get a kit to. But, as it turns out, I mean, timing and things are just, a trip. But yeah, my relationship with EGP had gotten really good just from being a good customer. And I had talked to them before, told them what I was doing and stuff. And they're fucking awesome, man. Yeah. And they allowed me to get the kits. I didn't want to get them and have to turn around and sell them for more. That's not what I was wanting to do. I wanted to be able to just have them switch hands.
Unless they had a sweet Cerakote job on them.
Well, yeah, obviously and that's part of the thing I'm trying to push too is my Cerakoting. But yeah, as the basic kit, what you would get from them, although you would never, like I did a few times, order and not realize there was a missing piece. So everything that you get from Frytech is, there's not gonna be, it doesn't have the sear or the whatever. It's gonna have everything for the build in there. And yeah. So, and I had just gotten now all the Lorson kits, but so I was able to get them at a price where I could sell them at what they would sell that at. It actually might be just I think I looked at a full kit of theirs and it was actually like 105. We were doing 95, then the shipping, and then I got the mags for the Raven. And able to sell them the same. They sell them for 30. I'm selling them for 30. I didn't want people going, he just bought a bunch of kits so that he could turn around and make money and fucked us by now they're twice the price, which I guess some people do shit like that, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I was very happy that they were able to accommodate us to do that. Cause and it works out cool. Cause now I got kits to the beta and I'm not jacking people. So yeah, I'm pretty happy on that one.
Are the
people like
mags
the packaging too. My business partner did all this packaging stuff, man. And it's tight. They're wrapped in these little shop towels. Yeah. And then everything else is in these little, plastic bags with our logo and stuff, but and he's fast, man. Like
I saw some of the packaging on Instagram. It looks pretty nice, man.
Rad. Thank you. Yeah, he gets I tell him, I go check the thing. Someone just did an order, and then the next he'll send me a thing in like 15 minutes. It's ready to go. In the morning, he goes to the post office. It's out there. They're getting their stuff in like 2 days. I was like, yes, I like that.
So you ran down to your workshop to grab something for us. Can you tell us a little bit about what you grabbed and then show it off to us?
Oh, I grabbed the first version of Bruharia. This one, the battery is not here. Obviously, you will see the wires, but this one I had the battery pack just strapped on it because this initial one, obviously, if it didn't fire, I had stuff I had to do. Let me trying to get this light better on here so you can see it better. Is that better? There we go.
There we go.
So So now, I had a short. I didn't bother, making the handguard very long on this. I just, the one thing Mussy had told me, I had talked to him a lot back when I kind of had started on doing this thing. He says, get things to print, make sure certain things work, but yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I could fire this thing and whatnot, and that it was operable. And so this one was the one that I first took out. In the back here is where all the coils.
Oh, whoopsies.
Oh, so this back piece here is where my coils go. And I got all these different coils. I'm working on a few different techniques for the coils. So now on the new one, it will be this. There we go. This grip. So you would have this here, and then the buffer tube, this piece for this one is different because it's got a compartment in the top where the electronics go for the battery recharge. So if you look in the upper, there's 2 holes. Up here is where my charging coil goes.
Okay.
And then so I had to make in here, I had to make where like there it's just a block, full, solid, whatever. But so yeah, there's an on-off switch because we're going to have this so I mean this is just a cheap red dot, but I'm gonna say that anything in this body is gonna work. So this piece here is going to attach to the upper, so it'd be like it was one solid piece. The reason this is not one solid piece to that though is because you have to get in and fuck around with this shit in here, and that ain't happening if it was part of that. So
Yeah.
we will be screwing this on, but it will be one part of the rifle because these wires come out the bottom. It will not need a battery in here. It'll be empty. And then these wires go back and connect to the source that powers it. And there's been some questions about, oh, so I have to shoot the gun before the scope will work. So no, okay. So if this was made 3D printed, when we were making it, it would start out, we would have an initial charge. The system, as you shot it, would keep it in charge. Like it would never die.
Mm.
So it will have a charge from the get-go. And then even if you left it on and it drained, you probably just have to sit there and rack it a few times.
I was gonna ask, if we'll racking it back a couple of times, will that charge it?
Yes.
So have
Okay.
you tried like from just straight dead?
Oh yeah.
And see
Yeah,
like, how much you need to do to get it going again?
Just a couple.
Really? That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That
I
is
mean, it
super
doesn't.
cool.
It's crazy how I mean it's what milliamps on those. You know, I have to check lasers. I don't know. On the laser, I might have to do my second system, which would be where it ran off of the main battery. I'm using a I don't know. I guess I'll keep it top secret now what it actually is that is in place of the said battery. But yeah, it's power bank basically that the power goes to. But so if I have, okay, so now there's a coil I'm going to be using that doesn't even plug in. There's one that plugs into the battery. There's this one that, okay, so I have taken out the weight in this AR9 bolt. So I'm actually having K&M make where basically the weight that would go in here look just like the weight, but it'll be a magnet, same weight, amount of weight and everything. But so the cool thing with this, if you have a South Pole here, and then so if this is the one with the battery, and then if you have your different poles, you can do different stuff. So like when I've mentioned before, wanting eventually to do stuff like say have maybe like a push button charging handle instead of racking it, right? So you rack the AR, instead push a button. There's a magnet in here. I mean, dude, the force is ridiculous that I'm able to get off of such small amount of volts. Fucking throw that thing right up into battery, and then I'm thinking too, I don't know how much of this can be done in the 3D printing, but that's also another reason why I kind of wanted, to do the patent thing, because this way at least I have some kind of leverage if I end up needing to talk to some big companies or something, because there's certain things I got ideas for that if we can't do them in 3D printing, I still would like to see if it can be done. Well, I think it could be. I'm pretty sure it can be. So, but yeah, man, like imagine if you had an AR and you're like, oh, okay, for whatever reason, whether you wanted more energy coming out, transferred out the barrel, and put it in, say, call it a switch that has bolt action style where it stays in battery, maybe you just don't want to chase shells. I don't know, but you know what I mean? You wanted to shoot it like it was a bolt action. You put a switch on and it goes up and through the magnets or whatever, and it keeps it there, and also I'm thinking the way that the gas system in 223.556, the way that works, with the gas being doing, the way it stays in battery, and there's that little twist on the where the bolt part that holds the round. So I'm thinking, well, there's a way to be able to do it, where I don't know if it was a pin by magnet that held it in for X amount of seconds. Because when you shoot the AR-15, from what I understand, it stays in battery for a slight amount of time, correct? Before it. So yeah, but it's done with the gas system. So right. I'm wondering if my invention, if there's a way to use that in 223.556 and eliminate gas.
So it would be the idea is, instead of controlling recoil and bolt locking with the gas, you're instead doing it with this magnet system.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if that is a doable thing in 3D printing, but when I think about it and what companies with money and machines and shit, I would imagine the sky is the limit, and they probably, if where my brains stop, where my smarts stop, maybe, So, but yeah, so my ideas are carrying a lot further than what Bruharia might be doing, so far Bruharia will soften, lessen recoil. It will allow onboard sight with the, no battery necessary. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's what I'm focusing on with the ones that I will be bringing when we go to SHOT Show.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Do you view Bruharia as sort of like the MVP version of this idea, where it's like, let's get a prototype that gets out some of the idea, but then we'll build on that as a foundation as we go, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
As you were doing your patent homework, did you run across anything similar to this? Did you have to look out for anything? Did you see anything close to this as you were?
There was something similar that I think was from the 1940s.
Okay.
But this was for a standing fixed machine,
crew served weapon.
Yeah, but it was a similar kind of thing. But when they did my initial patent search thing, they were like, no, you're good. They're like, there's nothing close to this that you're even near infringing on, nothing to worry about. And then I knew, I was like, okay, keep your fucking mouth shut until they say you could say something. Okay. But yeah, man, I was like surprised. I was so shocked because it's like $1,500 just for them to take a week and dig real deep, deeper than you can do, like I could have done on the internet, like, because they got the resources, a deep search thing, and then they come back and then it's either a yay or a nay, and yeah, and it was a yes. And I was like blown away that I was like, how the fuck isn't, but yeah, so And then I was like, cool. And then it was able to move forward. And then it was just a lot of waiting. I mean, it was a good 6, maybe 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah, they had to do the drawings. I had to send them back one time because they almost forgot my recharging coil thing. And I was like, oh, you guys forgot this. And then, which is cool because that's obviously that's one of the major things right now. But yeah, so then they did that, and that threw it back like another almost month. And then after that, then they got to do the write-up. There's 15 pages written on it. You guys can go on our website, and there's a thing you can read it, see all the drawings, everything for the patent is on there.
So it's still pending, but has been filed with the U.S. Patent Office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had sent me about 3 weeks ago. They said, okay, so now you're in patent pending. You need to put patent pending on everything related to this. And then also saying now you need to and can go and shop it. Yeah, because I even told them, because we talked to another lawyer guy from the legal Zoom team to make sure we didn't have to do anything else, like some design patent or a copyright or something to extra protect ourselves because of going to SHOT Show. And they were like, oh, you're going to the whatever. And yeah, just, like basically cool. Like, yeah, you're good. And then even the Zoom legal people, they even did a background check on our patent lawyer, and he's fully legit because they're like, yeah, sometimes people get screwed. And evidently the guy that I got is like well known and totally legit and on point. And yeah, and they're doing everything they've done. My ducks are all in a row, and yeah, which is good because it was not cheap,
Yeah.
Again, Doug, my business partner, thank God for him. I was going to pay for it with crypto, and then it was right around the time everything started going down. I was like, well, I'm going to just have to let that shit sit because I have an agenda to make money on that. And so, yeah, and then Doug stepped to the plate, and then the rest of that is history as far as, that's how the company kind of evolved out of that.
Okay.
Where can people follow along?
On my Instagram, I try to keep super up to date on that. I try to make it fun also. And
Your Instagram's pretty wild, man. I love it.
you like it? Cool, rad.
What is the @?
Oh, it's at the _real_fry_tech_LLC, I think. Let me check and double check real quick. That's long.
Like
okay,
this?
_real. Damn it, I just lost it. the_real_fry_tech_LLC. There we go.
Okay.
I would.
So I will show this again. Definitely, guys, go and check out Frytech on Instagram. That's where you can follow along all of the progress on the Raven, and
then there's the website too.
On the website. Okay, where's the website?
Well, no, you can on both. You can see.
Okay, but definitely go and check that out. And thank you for coming. It's been a real joy having you here, man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm not a big Instagram guy, so I haven't been following this project along at all. So seeing all of this here has been super enlightening.
Oh, rad.
Last question. Where will you host the beta for the Brujeria?
I don't know. Actually, I kind of up for suggestions. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I'm up for suggestions. I would like to do something really cool. I don't know where I mean, I'm trying to think like, where should it be? What, what are my options? What's the best fit for it? So yeah, I mean, I probably don't want to do it alone. Like I'm doing the one thing. So it'd probably be cool to have some help on it. 'Cause I can imagine, it's going to be a lot more than the Raven beta. Yeah, more involved.
You hear
Yeah,
that?
and
Hit
then
this
you
man up on Instagram and give him some suggestions. Right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we're signing off for the night. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, dude.